Well, this is the first podcast from Academy, so appreciate you for coming in blind.
I'm honoured, bro. I'm honoured to be here as the first guest.
Yeah. Black?
Yes, please. Drink it.
So the premise of it is, man, I just want to talk to founders and across all walks and get into your head of everything, you know. It just fascinates me, like, you know, the team side, the finance side, everything. There's the product side, but there's all those other bits behind it and things like that. So I just love chewing the fat on that, you know?
Me too, man. Yeah.
But where did you, take me back to the start? Like, where'd you grow up and stuff? Where'd you go to school?
I grew up in Auckland. We kind of grew up in a south central suburb called Hillsborough. I went to Mount Albert Grammar School. And
That's by my house.
Oh, yo.
They got the field, the paddock.
Yeah, they got a lot of ground
like
there.
Cows and shit.
Yeah. Oh, do they? Oh, yeah. Oh, they do. Yeah, they do. Yeah, that's right. Shows how much I was there. But I guess growing up, bro, my life was, well, I wanted it to be golf, and it was golf. I had dreams of one day trying to turn pro at golf.
True.
So I guess when people were out talking to girls and going to parties, I was having quiet nights and getting up early for 7 a.m. tea times and Te Awa Mudu for the North Island under-19s or something like that.
No way.
You know what I mean? So I was a bit of like a golf nerd, if you will.
True. So you didn't play rugby or soccer or anything?
I did till I was about kind of 12 or 13, and it was I played rugby, cricket and golf, and I was kind of like pretty good at all of them, and I had to decide which one I wanted to lock in on to have my focus, and that was golf. So that was kind of my life until about uni. Yeah. And then I got declined from like 2 out of 3 unis because my grades weren't very good, but fortunately AUT let me in. What
were you going in for?
I wanted to, I liked business. I mean, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. Right. Like, because by that point I realized I wasn't probably quite good enough at golf.
Wow, it's like the highest caliber sport there is.
Yeah, golf and tennis, I reckon.
Yeah. And it's also, it's a head game. Like, give me a team sport any day, but as soon as you give me too much time in my own head, it's really tough.
That's right,
like, bro. I did athletics, and that's just really solo. And I didn't have the drive. I was like, I don't really care about beating that guy. Yeah. But if you've got that sickness of like competitiveness, then go for that.
Yeah, that's right. It's very solo. But I guess to flip back to golf, from a young age it taught me that I am responsible for my results as an individual, and if I want to get better, I need to put in the work. Yeah, true. I also learned that practice doesn't make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. So it's about and I think that relates to business as well. You can put a lot of time and energy into the wrong things. Yeah. But it's about, my mentor, Zach, he talks about like the best business owners or the best founders or whatever. Like, we've always got 100 things to do, right? Yeah. But the best founders are the ones that do their 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the list first, rather than going from number 47 to number 12 to 8 to half of 1, not completing it, then go back to, Yeah.
How have you, I'm like that too, bro. This year I've really trying to nail my timetable and actually putting more restrictions in. And it's liberating, weirdly. I thought I'd be like, oh no, but I'm like, cool. Monday's a full planning day. Yeah. Tuesday, Wednesday, client days. Yep. Thursday's sales, and Friday is our own stuff, creative stuff like this. Nice. This is Friday. Yeah. And bro, I feel happy. Yeah, bro. We're also like 6 clients down, I feel happy because it's like I'd rather that than have, like you said, 50 things on. Yeah, that's it.
Discipline creates freedom.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
So that perfect practice. Say that again.
Yeah. Perfect practice makes perfect, not practice makes perfect.
Yeah, because you can be doing crap.
You can be doing crap. But anyway, man, that was kind of my life. And then back to where I was going with that, I got into AUT. I did a Bachelor of Business in Marketing and Advertising. And then it was kind of an awesome time for me because at school I was kind of told I was dumb by the schooling system.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and that was okay. I was just like, oh, well, maybe I'm a sports guy or something, and I'm just not...
almost a badge of honor if you're into sports.
Yeah, I guess, right?
But not nice.
Yeah, and like I even had, senior teachers kind of call me out about things, and long story short, AUT was really liberating because I realized I was actually kind of smart or had like intelligence when I applied myself in the right place.
Yeah.
I just wasn't set up to learn in the way school teaches, which is I talk at you and you write and take notes. Whereas I learn like this, bro. I learn in collaboration. I learn problem solving.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Practical way.
Yeah.
No, it's a bit like that too. I remember getting to like the end of the algebra test, and I was like to my dad, I was like, Dad, I don't know anything that's going to be in this exam in like sixth form. And he was like, well, boy, you better get upstairs and read that textbook, because that's the only way you're going to do it. And there's a little bit of that, like, oh shit, when you have to go hard, like you can learn it. But so you didn't study graphic design at uni?
No, bro, I didn't.
True, I had no idea. I imagine you were like this segue, like graphic design student that went through and then.
I get that a bit, bro. No, so I did a batch. So I basically, I did a Bachelor of Business in Marketing and Advertising. Watched Mad Men and decided I was going to work in advertising. Start smoking Lucky Strike cigarettes and stuff.
Oh, yeah. I love that show, eh?
Yeah.
Don Draper.
Don Draper, yeah. Anyway, so long story short, I worked in advertising for 10 years.
Oh, whoa.
I got made general manager of an advertising agency at 26, managing offices across Australia and New Zealand. I kind of had my dream job at a very young age.
High stress.
Yeah, and earning good money, and I was like, this sucks.
Yeah.
This fucking sucks.
Yeah.
And the thing that killed me the most was I had like kind of corporate clients that were super stale. Our team would produce good ideas that would just get watered down. We'll have to kind of retrospectively fit into brand guidelines, which we understand. But kind of to the point of like looking at my bosses, and I was like, I don't want to be like you. I'm not that happy now. I was like, I need to make a change here.
Yeah.
So one of my mates was kind of like, well, like, don't worry about your dream job. Like, worry about like your dream day. Like, what are the things that fill you with purpose, and like try build, I guess, a career around that. And I think ultimately that made me think about e-commerce, but also fashion. E-commerce because you kind of can work from anywhere, although we do spend most of the time in the office. But you have that, or like, you know, earn while you sleep kind of ability.
That's the dream, mate.
But I had these, I had this good knowledge of marketing, advertising, but I had this itch for fashion. I always really cared way too much about how I dressed.
Yeah.
I was always, for better or worse, as an insecurity.
But self-conscious.
Yeah.
And I'm the same.
For sure, bro.
Yeah.
Like, my insecurities probably led me to Porter James Sports.
Bro, you won't be the only. I think every fashion founder has to have that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, why?
Yeah.
Where's the drive?
Yeah.
You have to have some. Like, I think it was only like 5 or 6 years ago. I was like, I'm actually pretty insecure when I walk through places.
Yeah.
So I like dress to make myself feel more confident and shit like that. You know.
And when I hear people tell me that Porter empowers them, I feel so great. It's a really nice feeling. And I think that's by and large why we do it.
Yeah. It definitely is. Like your range is certainly like you put it on, and it's a perfect blend of like sharp but edge. Do you know what I mean? Like the cuts are edgy, but it's sharp enough to not be like, hey,
exactly.
You know, look what I'm wearing. It's like, oh, damn, that's nice. Like a little angle on that. That's cool.
That's kind of our, and not jumping too far ahead here, but that's kind of our sweet spot. Like we are very in tune with, I guess, the zeitgeist of, you know, contemporary proportions and fabric and what is very like culturally relevant, but in the same way that's understated and refined. So we don't really rely on, you know, loud graphics or hype to move the product. I'd rather our customer pay a premium for really beautiful fabric and like try it on and be like, oh, I get it. Or like, I can't not buy these. Or like, I'm gonna go tell my 10 friends about it, you know?
Yeah. What do you reckon it would have been like 10 years ago? Because how old are you now?
35.
So do you think that's a maturity thing as well? You're like, I can, at 35, I'm just turned 30, it's like feeling more understated is what is nice.
For sure.
If you were 25 doing fashion, do you think you'd be a bit more loud?
To be honest, bro, I think I've always been this way, but I got lost on the way to realizing this. Like, I had, you know, I laugh like if you like you've got to put in the reps to like find the clarity, and like you're definitely going to look like a bit of a dickhead along the way. Trying to, like, you know what I mean? Like guilty as of like having like bricking some fits. You know what I mean? Like, But I think that's part of the journey. But I think my aesthetic has always been very understated. I've always, and that's when I guess I really struggled in that hype era that we've kind of just come out of the back of the last 5-6 years, because I never, you know, I was into fashion, but I never really identified with, you know, hip hop or hype culture or sneaker culture. I could admire it without talking shit on it, but it was never me.
Yeah, I've never understood the Nike Air Force One era. I'm like, oh, doesn't do it for me. Like the shape at the bottom of that jean, I'm like, it's just disproportionate. But hey, but then from a collector's point of view, I collect maps. Like a vintage maps. It's called a Carter file, and I'm like, okay, well, if you're into the collection thing, sick. But from a proportionate fashion thing, I'm like, I just don't get it. Like hot take, but
I like that, bro. I mean, whatever you're into, like I fuck with that. I like people who wear their heart on their sleeve unapologetically, and whether that's sneakers or maps, like that's cool. But I guess I just never really resonated with this era of fashion that's come through, and now I guess probably that's why we're quite successful as of late. Is I think the world is now more seeing things as I do. I haven't really changed. And you know, now we've got literally, like, as of even yesterday, probably the best dressed person in the whole NBA just wearing it.
Bro, and tell me about that.
Oh, bro, like, I don't know. It just surprised. I didn't even know who he was, to be honest. I don't follow NBA.
Oh, okay. I was like, wow.
I was like, is this a big deal? And my staff member, Ryan, he was like crying because he's like, this is like, if I could get on anyone in the world, it'd be this guy. Wow. And I was just like, wow, that's cool. His, I think his stylist likes the brand and like copped some stuff, and then we've sent them some more off the back of it, just kind of hoping something would happen. But then he's just like full on rocking fits and like head to toe Porter. I'm like, oh shit.
Well, there's definitely people out there that have their finger on the pulse, like with small young brands. Because especially if you're like, you don't like anyone wearing what you're wearing. You know, that you have that phobia of like, oh damn, they're wearing what I'm wearing. I'm gonna cross the street. But you get like killers like him or whoever that pick up little New Zealand brands from time to time, but they just get such good coverage in the NBA. Like I wouldn't them to do that with the rugby here. Like there's so many things around the NBA. Not to go down my whole video thing that we've been doing, but like, there's another thing to bite into with the fashion. But they have people taking photos. Otherwise, you wouldn't have a clue if that even happened.
That's right. It's funny, those things, like our population is so small that the subcultures like fashion just don't really pop off, you know. I mean, it exists for sure, and we massively punch above our weight, and there's some infinitely talented people, much more than me, in the space here, but as a whole we have to rely on the overseas markets to grow our brands to significant levels. Which we do.
So who have you had lately? Because you've had him and Machu. Rattle them off.
6. I mean, first of all, I'll say like I get more kicks out of like, say you random. I know you wear Porter. Like I remember I've been out one time and I saw you wearing like one of the Cardis on K Road, and like I get more kicks out of that than seeing someone famous for it.
That's
do you know
true.
What I mean?
I wear it all the time.
Someone who like has an opinion about how they dress, and they put it on, and they've felt like that's a nice garment to wear out on a big night or a special night. That makes me feel really special, probably more so than chasing celebrity culture, because
it doesn't really get you anything too. Like we've worked with brands and they
doesn't get you anything.
No, like you do it. No, it's that's been and done. I mean, I mean, brands like Barker's Clothing, their thing back in the day was getting the All Blacks, and that worked. That works then, but now it's like you said, it's actually more of the common people.
That's right.
At mass as well, who you want to know.
I think celebrities validate the brand to people who are existing customers. It's cool for you. It's cool for you to see that, and it reassures that you are shopping and advocating a brand like Porter that is getting in the right hands, which, you know, you're wearing it before the most fashionable person in the NBA, you know, so like, you're like, oh, okay, I'm going to keep supporting this brand. But in terms of customer acquisition, I don't think it does anything.
No, it doesn't really. I mean, like chip away, but it's certainly, I mean, there's no silver bullet in anything. And that's the convo we have with clients all the time.
That's
like,
right.
Kiwis especially looking for like, let's do one thing and put all the money there and simplify it. But with marketing, you just can't. You need like 50 touch points for someone to purchase, especially if you're getting a higher ticket. Like,
that's right, man. But on that, I was going to say, Porter was being worn by someone on Geordie Shore. I mean, no, Love Island's UK last night.
Oh yeah, huge.
in the villa.
What were they wearing?
Our long sleeve waffle raglan top. That's part of the new summer.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Far out.
I know of me and the guy follow each other, but like we've never met. But
so how cool is it? They just bought it.
I know. Yeah, he did. Yeah. He messaged me. He goes, "Hey, bro, I'm going away on Monday night. Do you think you could get this to me by this date?" Like, and we use DHL, so we can get it from. He ordered it on Friday morning. We got it to them in the UK on Monday morning. But
weekends, baby.
Yeah, exactly. Lucky for that. But I didn't realize that he needed it in time for going on Love Island.
Wow.
But he did, and he's wearing it. So that's pretty cool.
How do you find? Because like, so how many? You're 4 years in now.
4 years, yeah.
Yeah. Because I find with fashion, I've seen it with a few brands. It's like you can't rush the first 3 years. It's like. It's got nothing to do with, well, it does have, you need good product and things like that. Yes. But it really is, there's this 3 year mark where you kind of get a baseline of people for it to then snowball.
Yes.
But how did you go those first 3 years? Because like you're making not enough money to pay yourself.
Yep.
You're like, is this even going to happen?
Yep.
Like, am I doing the complete wrong thing? You must be asking so many questions.
Yes.
Like, how did you get through those first 3 years? Because I feel like you've branched through now. You got enough validation to go, I got something.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're so right. It's like a tipping point where like call it 10,000 casual customers. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think for us, and I'll be the first to say like I've got it wrong plenty of times, but I think I've always had a vision from the start.
Yeah.
It was kind of in relation to how I live. It was a life well designed, which kind of talks to my story, but living a life of intent and being whatnot. But call that the parameters.
Right.
And I gave myself parameters, and I could iterate as many times as I want within that window.
Nice.
But I never went this trend, this trend, this trend.
Nah.
You micro hop, trend hop, whatever. But like I feel it's always been kind of the same brand. It's just had to iterate that many times. And that'd be my advice to someone starting out would be like, don't just make product for the sake of being cool. Like try and like, you might have success in 12 to 18 months, but like, what does a 10-year brand look like? And how do you try and have that vision? But within that vision, you have to iterate. Like, as I said before, the reps produces the clarity. So, like, we did some like pleated pants and they went like really good. And then I was like, I saw them on enough people, I just didn't love the way they draped.
Right.
So we like kept iterating with fabric, and then we got this beautiful like balloon shape through some kind of, I don't know, just some darts in the knee and this special fabric we got. And long story short, it's the product now, like, I mean, we would have sold like 5,000 pairs in like 5 months. Like,
so it surpassed the boxy tee?
Yeah, no, massively, bro. Yeah.
Really?
Like, fucked, yeah. Like, can I swear? Sorry.
Yeah.
No, that's kind of been our it's ridiculous, bro. So
wow, I didn't realize. I mean, I'd seen them. I was like, that's a beautiful pant.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to get.
Yeah.
You get the straight wide, which is a bit more common now.
Yeah.
I tell you what, like for wide denim, Loki, the spot's Hellenstein's.
Yeah. For Hellenstein's,
these are Hellenstein's.
Yeah, Hellenstein's is like doing good shit, man.
Yeah.
I know a few guys in the team, and they're like, they're on this shit, man.
No, it's tight. Yeah. It's tight. It's definitely more Gen Z.
Yeah.
But because so we're kind of not seeing it because it's not aimed at us. Yeah. But if you want to I pop in there every time I'm at the mall.
Yeah, if you know where to look, like it's not awful, but there'll be like a few gems. I remember my mate Adam works there, and I was like, hey, we always chat fashion and mostly luxury brands, and we're just talking about fisherman sandals. You know, like Amy Leon Dawes just done them, the Rose doing them, and I was like, I don't really want to spend like $2,000 on the Rose sandals. And then he's like, bro, we did fisherman sandals last year. Like they were on it like ahead of like ALD. You know what I mean? But I thought that was quite cool. So if you know where to look, it's good. But I guess back to what I was saying before is me getting the pleated trouser only kind of right enabled me to get it really right 6 months later. And that's like you have to iterate. And Rick Rubin talks about this a lot in his book, The Creative Act.
Right.
Creative away.
I can only read 1 or 2 pages at a time, and I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, same, bro. I'm like, what the hell?
One sentence, and I'm like, whoa.
Facts.
It's really, I'm only that far through it, and I've had it for a year.
I'm the same, bro.
Yeah.
I'm the same.
You can't smash it out.
It's too much, man.
No.
But he talks about like, you have to know what you're looking for, and you have to have, like he calls them clues. And like,
gorgeous.
You have to, like, if you have to be attuned to everything, like what people are saying about your product, what market leaders are doing, a return rate, like a reason for buying, like what your friends think about it, how it fits you, like try it on a slimmer guy, a bigger guy, a woman, like whatever. Like you have to be attuned to all this data over everything to, I think, really develop that product. And I guess how have I done this? I'm trying to go back to what you said at the start. I've been fucking relentless.
Like those first 3 years.
Yeah.
Like give me the highs and lows. Like
lows is like I'd worked 60 hours on Porter. Couldn't afford to pay myself for 3 years.
Yeah.
Any spare money went into product or hiring staff with more competency than me, like technical product developers who, you know.
Webby is bloody good at that.
Yeah, Webby's the man.
Yeah.
Love Webby. But basically, just reinvested every dollar back into the business. And then, so that's called that 60 hours a week. And then my spare 25, 30 hours a week was literally consulting to other brands, doing brand identity kits. And And that 20 spare hours between the hours of like 10 p.m. and 1 a.m., like I could literally generate enough cash just to pay my bills and to keep reinvesting Porter back into it. But now we're definitely past that point. But like you try to do that with a partner, trying to stay fit, trying to be a good son or brother or uncle or good dog dad, whatever. It's bloody hard, man. And I think you lose relationships along the way. I think you have to become a low touch kind of friend. And if people don't see that or they need a lot more from you, it's not going to work. And unfortunately we can't be friends. And like the reality is, it's like, have you ever read Relentless by Tim Grover?
Nah.
It's an amazing book. He was kind of the guy who helped Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant with their mindsets and stuff.
Oh, true. Okay.
But like, if you want to be great, you are going to be imbalanced in life. There's no two ways about it.
Yeah, bro.
Like people say, I'm looking for balance. I'm like, well, you're going to have balanced outcomes.
Be prepared to be average.
Yeah, bro, exactly.
Not being a dick, but
Porter is tough. Like on my mental health, I have to have really good communication with my partner Holly and my best friends, or I see a what do you call it? Not like a life coach, not quite a psychiatrist, but someone kind of in that space where she's really practical, and I just talk to her about what's going on. She gives me helpful tools.
Great.
But Porter is 85% of my life. For better and definitely worse.
Because it's still early. Like in the scheme of things.
For sure.
And at 7-10 years time, you'll look back and be like, oh, I can't believe I remember I used to do those tasks.
Yeah, bro.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're kind of going through that at the moment. Like,
what's the team? Where are you at?
So, it was basically me wearing every single hat in the business. And then I had Sam, who was kind of my first hire part-time. She a production manager. So she's worked with amazing brands throughout New Zealand for the last 20 years and liaises with my factories offshore. But she now...
Tech packs.
All that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I don't really know what they are, but another word.
Basically, like down to the stitch level to the measurement of an armhole between medium and an XL. All that sort of stuff. But so Sam was my first hire, and then that was just me and her for ages. Was me by myself, and then it was her, and then now we're about to be 6. So we're, I guess it's having like key people in key roles, or
you're about to be 6.
Yeah, bro. So me as, I guess, managing director, and creative director and head of product.
Yeah.
Sam's head of production. We've got Christian, who is across product design and supporting Sam in production, and he's also floating across retail in our new studio store. And I've got Ryan, who is kind of like my right hand man. He's like he's junior, but he's gun. He's kind of like a junior to IC. So he's just like, the first thing he said to me was, "My job is to give you less jobs." I'm like, "You're hired."
Bro, who's his parents, bro? Yeah. He's got a good upbringing.
Yeah, he's good. He's good, man.
That's sick.
I love having him. We're about to hire a head of digital to look after in-house ads and the Shopify side of things.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And then I've just hired my mum, as I said before, who is warehouse and office manager.
Customer support?
That's Ryan. But we're about to automate some of that too. So, but one of the values I have in the company is we're a rugby team with 10 players. Like, you're going to have to play another position. Like,
yeah, nice. I like that.
And if you're like, within like 3 months of working here, if you're like, "Oh no, that's not my job," I'm like, okay, well, if you don't do it, I'm going to do it. And you think it's like, you know what I mean? So I just don't want that attitude, and we have a really, supporting team.
So I'm sort of at the stage as well where it's like, I've drawn a line in the sand where I'm like, I'm not doing any of these tasks because I'm the classic Kiwi of, I could do that, so I should.
Yeah.
And like, we got to a point where I'm like, I can't get any higher. You know what I mean? Like, we've worked hard, but I've pretty much got nothing at the end of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, no big cash or anything.
For sure.
Cool, really refine the product.
Yeah.
Similar to you, but mine's the service. Like 4 years, we're 4 years as well. Yeah, 4 years. And now I'm like, okay, I don't have to worry about that because I know what we do is good. So now let's like focus on team, profit would be nice.
Yeah.
And things like that.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a different mindset.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm having to learn a lot. Doing standard operational procedure, looms.
Yeah.
We've got an offshore person helping with administrative stuff.
Yeah.
And just being, like you said, what did you say, the boundaries, eh?
The parameters,
Parameters. One I use is like a sandbox.
Yeah.
And so I've got my sandbox in here and you can build whatever castle in the middle, but you can't go out these bounds.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, great.
Yeah, that's
cool,
nice.
let's go. You know?
The book that helped me the most with that was one I read last year called Deep Work by Cal Newport.
Oh, okay.
But basically it's like, again, if you want to be great at something, like you think of the greatest script writers or like songwriters or novelists or whatever, and you know, like they lock themselves in a, you know, the cliche cabin in the woods for 6 months and come out with this beautiful piece of work.
Right.
Like, I guarantee they weren't great at responding to emails. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
they did an RSVP to every event.
Yes.
And it's just like, well, like something's got to give. And like, so I'm consciously like, I try checking my email only twice a day.
Yeah, that's nice.
Like I'll try to, and just, I could jump on something, I could fix it, but like, I'm like, that's again jumping on priority number 18 as opposed to priority number 1.
Yeah.
Like I have like a delivery of new samples to brief into Sam on Tuesday, and this is going to be the driving force of the business for the next 6 months.
Yeah.
This is more important. That person, that supplier, whatever, can wait 4 hours. I need to focus on this.
Yeah, it's a hard mindset though, eh? Because in the first 3 years, if you aren't like jumping around between tasks, you can't get it off the ground.
Yeah.
But then we have to go stop doing that, which you've conditioned yourself for 3-4 years, and go, like, you really have to tell yourself the house isn't going to burn down.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, that's all good. Whatever.
Right. Yeah.
Like, we have a really quick response rate, like with our clients. But to be more realistic, like, we could actually slow that down a bit.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I'm a bit like that too, like checking in the morning and afternoon.
Yeah.
And then devoting 4-hour blocks to things.
Yeah.
And like the quality of our work has improved so much.
That's me.
And I'm like, oh great, I'm proud of it. And let's going on.
Yeah.
You know, like that's the resting heart rate's just kind of come down, which is nice.
That's nice, bro.
Bro, I wanted to ask you, I think when I first started following you on Instagram or something, I think you're into bodybuilding.
Oh, this must have been a while ago. Eh?
Yeah, bro. How did you get into that? And like, the other thing I wanted to say is like, I feel like when I first met you and you did your first pop-up 3 years ago or something.
Something like that, yeah.
And I felt like you were sort of a little bit like shy.
Yep.
Now when I saw your last pop-up and we saw each other at Darling the other day, I was like, oh, this guy's metaphorical chest is up. He seems so confident, so happy in himself.
Yeah.
Like, do you feel like the 4-year mark, you got a brand, you're like, it's something, you got a monkey off your back or something? Like, you kind of like can breathe? Or what is that? Am I off on that? Like
you're kind of right. Yeah, like despite me being articulate or being able to talk a lot, I'm heavily introverted.
Yeah.
Like after this, like I will, like probably won't say another word for the rest of the day.
Yeah,
like,
right.
And that's kind of, so it depends what mood you catch me in. If you catch me in like, so like I'm really super introverted and like alone time. So that's a bit of a thing. But kind of back to bodybuilding, I think there's a few things.
Yeah. Sorry, tell me about that because I mean, not many people would know about it, but that takes a lot of hard work, bro.
Yeah.
You know?
So in that golf era I talked about at the start, I was a chubby kid. Like everyone had a mock at high school. I was like fat or like chubby, right?
Right.
And when I stopped playing golf and maybe then decided, I want to like talk to the opposite sex or whatever, going through that kind of, I guess, into adulthood or whatever, I wanted to kind of change my body, and I had this hard work ethic from golf, and I knew how to apply myself and get results. And that was kind of a framework I'd learned, and within like a couple of years, I was like the fat kid who like, I guess had abs, and there was a bodybuilding competition on it, like the gym, and they're like, you should do it. So I prepped for 3 months, and then I came second or something.
Oh, whoa! So it was kind of like, hey, you got a good foundation. This thing's on. Go for it.
I guess, bro. And then it's definitely born from an insecurity thing, as I said, like being fat. But it was more like it was just cool to put my energy into something else that wasn't golf. And then that was kind of a phase. I competed in like New South Wales, like IFBB men's physique, and terrible as well. But like, yeah, it's pretty. It was a strange time of my life. But if anything, I'm like, one thing I'll say about myself is, I can be extremely disciplined, and I can be like, I won't be outworked in anything. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And like, that's toxic, but like, it's also a superpower, you know?
Yeah, but it's tasty.
Yeah.
Tasty toxic. I mean, kudos. Like, that's what I was looking at it like, man, I think you've done these phases in your life where you're like, you've really pushed the boundaries, right? And you're probably in one now that the boundary, as soon as you think you've hit it, it's going to keep moving.
Yeah.
You know, like size of fashion can really be galactic.
That's right.
You know what I mean? If you want it to be.
That's right, yeah.
And each next leap requires a whole set of discipline, thinking, strategy, like, because you're now at the precipice, you've finished phase one.
That's right.
You're at the precipice of going global.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like proper.
Yeah, proper, yeah. Yeah.
And how does that feel, bro?
It's kind of been...
Are you ready? You want to go?
Yeah, bro. Like, I think we're kind of... It's just a volume thing. Like, we're already doing it. Like, we're 80% overseas, our sales.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Because there's just not that many people who... Fashion is not as much in our DNA in New Zealand. For better or worse, guys would rather spend money on fishing or, you know, a boat or something. Whereas, like, subcultures are so big in places like New York or London where fashion is actually, like, I cringe saying this, but a hobby, you know? And so that just doesn't really exist here. So we've had to lean on overseas markets. But our biggest cities in order are Melbourne, New York, Auckland, Sydney, Los Angeles.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, I mean, you've done such a great job at building a wardrobe.
Yeah.
You know, like David was just saying.
Yeah.
Like, you can wear it to work and it's sick. You got it's edge off workwear.
Yeah.
And then you can wear it out and it's like almost toned back nightwear, which is understated and sick and sexy. You know? And then now you've got shorts and stuff.
Yeah, everything.
Which is like, it's just...
I mean...
you can actually fill your wardrobe with a lot of your pieces, and then you wear your other stuff with it.
Exactly.
Like I could wear a vest, or it's so interchangeable.
Thanks, man. I mean, and that's... people don't know this, but like, when fashion in like the 30s or 40s changed from kind of like more like suiting or one-piece kind of like items together, when clothing became adaptable or interchangeable, they called it sportswear. And that's
Really?
and that's where Porter James Sports comes from.
Oh, true.
Which people are like, why is it called sports? Do you make gym clothes? I'm like, no, but there's like a history there. But also sports gives menswear like a casual or relaxed. Like I don't want to say it's menswear. I want it to feel a bit more like less serious, and sportswear kind of implies that. But yeah, like man, I just from a design point of view, I think every founder in fashion or menswear or women's wear, whatever, will tell you this, but they just want to create a world as they see it.
Yeah.
Like, I could never be a creative director for any other brand because I'm just creating what's inside me. Like we did homeware last year.
Yeah. I was like, when I was putting the mugs, I was like, damn, I wish I had a couple of those.
I'll get you some, bro. But you know, we did homeware. I worked with a designer. She's based in Devonport, actually, called Fiona Mackay, and I've bought her pieces before her ceramics, even before I started Porter James Sports. I've loved her work forever.
Wow.
So to be able to collaborate with another person and learn about a new medium, like I loved that process. And I also don't like defining what Porter James is because I don't want to limit myself to what I can create. Like, who knows? Like in 20 years, there could be like a furniture arm. Like, you know, I don't want to limit myself as a designer.
No, 100%. And like, I feel similar to being more in the creative space now. I was saying to my team, or to David, like, bro, I rock up. I like, you know, we do a lot of video, right?
Yeah.
Bro, I've got one memory card.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't even shoot in RAW. I don't even know what shooting in S-Log is.
Yeah.
And these guys are telling me about it. And then we're doing a shoot for a new avocado variety with stills. I'm like, all right, cool. Let's use a camera for that.
Yeah.
And I think because I'm not institutionalized at all, I don't care. For me, there's creativity here, and whatever weapon it is, that's just the vehicle for that day.
Yeah, that's right.
And just work it out. I don't care if it's not like what's done.
That's right, yeah.
And so that's why I quite like running at things and figuring it out. And I'm like, I don't care because I'm not from the industry.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I have the vision, and I back my taste, and I know what I want, but I don't always know how to get there, but I know someone who will be able to help me get there. And I think that's maybe kind of going back to your question before, like, are you ready to scale? I'm like, I think so long as I admit what I don't know, and I do my best to hire the best I can within my means, or, you know, collaborate with the best I can within my financial means, anything's possible. Like, and that's what excites me about Porter James. Like, you know, the old hockey stick, like we're going through that at the moment. We eat shit for 3 years and then you boom, and you know, but like there is no limit to how good this can get. And I don't say big because I don't want to be the biggest or the best brand. I just want to produce, like, this is what actually I say this to the team a lot. I don't want to be the best, but I want to be the best at getting better. And like I just want us to get better at our craft and just produce like good things and make like beautiful product. And I think sales are a byproduct of doing good work.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, and sales are just the outcome. Like, focus on this, what we can do to be better today, and that takes care of itself. And that's kind of what I'm seeing now. And that's what we've done all this like crazy growth recently with me being time poor or wearing too many hats. Like, I haven't even been like focused on my superpowers, if you will, like what I'm best at, because I'm not the best at certain things. I'm not as good as you at digital marketing. Like, so, you know, I shouldn't have been doing that, but I kind of had to out of necessity. But we've kind of got people in kind of key roles now, or like starting to anyway, which excites me. Yeah. You know,
there's a big lag on that. And I don't think people realize that with marketing. Like this, what you're seeing now, your growth, that's from at least 6 months is where that impact is tagged. Nothing in between, more likely. Yes, there's maybe some action that it's causing, but like sometimes we'll get brands and we run a ratio. It's just like how much money you made from paid ads and what your total sales were. Cool. So if your ratio is 80% of your sales came from paid ads, it's a huge red flag.
Yeah, that's right.
Because you're relying on Meta for 80% of your sales. So like you can get it to 50, that's good because it means you're putting enough in for growth, but you've got enough organic. You know what I mean? That there is like 50 is hard to get to, probably more like 60. But then, so with clients, we'll be like, look, this is sitting at 80 or 90 sometimes. You're like, and I know that's going to take 3 months of really good brand work to come down.
That's right.
So if you're at 80 or 90, we're 3 months too late.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what I mean?
And it's not even digital. Like it's
the whole thing.
It's the whole, like I look at it kind of in three things. It's like digital marketing is like you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Like making it drink comes down to like, first of all, do you have a good product? And most of the time, give people the benefit of the doubt, say they do. But then it's like, how good is the website at converting that customer?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like we've done lots of work on our website this year to improve that. Like one of the things that I think, when you go on Shopify and you write your product description, and then that's kind of what shows first on the product page. Yeah. Like we kind of flip the whole thing on its head. We're like, I think the first thing people care about is like, like they've already kind of made their mind up about the product. Yeah. By the time they get there, like they like it already. Yeah. They want to know, will it fit me? How fast will it get to me? And then I care about things like delivered in a biodegradable poly bag, or like made from 99% cotton, 1% poly, whatever. Like, I think, so we've kind of flipped it on its head. So we made the whole process about like being really easy to understand if it fits you, and then showing that like how fast it can kind of get to you. And we exclusively use DHL for that as well. So basically we'll get an order to LA or New York in 2 days. So that's a key pillar to growing that global side. Yeah. And obviously that makes the ads then boom. Yeah. As your ROAS goes way up. But people don't like make the two connections, you know what I mean?
Well, they got more money overseas too. Like with clients, the average order values for like where we'll have like a global audience or whatever. It's always 50% more. Yep, like minimum $300-400 an order. Whereas in New Zealand, it's like $150 to $200.
Yeah, that's right.
So who cares? Their money goes way further with our dollar too. Well, so it's almost double.
That's the thing. Like say our best selling product will be, let's say, like $240 for a pair of trousers, which is like, I mean, to me, it's like totally fair. Like,
so it's good.
Yeah, I think that's a good price for like good things aren't cheap and cheap things aren't good. Cheap things aren't good, but I think it's a really good price. But if you convert that to USD, it's like $140 or something. Yeah. If we go shopping down in Lower East Side Manhattan, and we walk into a store and there's pants for $140, we'd be like, what the fuck's wrong with this? We're not buying this. It looks too cheap. Yeah. So like you almost have to put your prices up in the United States just to perceive quality. Yeah, and I think there's a few Kiwi brands that have done that. Like they go do the global thing, and what they do is they put their prices up because the retailers are demanding that they put the price up so it fits in store. Yeah. And then what happens is they price out their existing customer base. Yeah. So you know how we're talking about that 3-year tipping point pressure point? Yeah. What happens is they do that and they just they lose all them. Yeah. And then you're like, start from here. That's right, yeah. So it's a tricky one, man. Like, I think that's where Capsules come in really well. Like, if you've built this core range with these people here, cool. And you want to do some global range, great. But do a capsule. I like the 70-20-10. Like 70% is your core. Yeah. Keep that cranking. 20% is kind of probably what you started with, and this is your OGs, and you're making really cool stuff. Yeah. 70 is sort of more your basics. And then 10's got to be out the gate. Yeah. And it's got to be double, triple the price. Yeah. Because you've got to keep those like fashion heads interested. Yeah. You've got to keep them interested. And the more you put yourself up, those products up, it lifts everything. Yeah, what's the saying? Like a rising tide raises all boats, right? Yeah, exactly. I completely agree. Like that's what we've done this. We have a beautiful an amazing leathersmith based in New Zealand who makes these beautiful products with us. And we're making like, $1,000 leather bags that... True. And I'm like, these... Like that sounds expensive, right? And we've got small minimums. We make like under 10 and we sell one every 3 weeks. When it sells out, we make them again. And it's like, well, that's cool. I'm so proud I can be a brand that can sell $1,000 product. You know what I mean? Yeah. But you want to be a brand that can sell that as opposed to like, I think it's a marker of a brand, right? Like, and that was a paradigm shift for me to like charge something for that much. It's not like I'm making it for $80 and putting this markup on it. No, it actually cost a fuck ton to make. It's like made in New Zealand by hand. Yeah. Like the full grain New Zealand leather, Italian hand painted edges. Like gorgeous. You could put a Bottega Veneta like logo on that and it's $6,000. Like it's that level. But it's exhibition pieces. That's right. You know what I mean? Like you need them. So that's I guess part of what I don't want to I don't want our prices to go up, but I want to make more expensive product.
But it's a sandbox too, bro. You know what I mean? Like if you run that ratio of 70-20-10, you're like, cool, these ones stay around here, and they kind of just go up like that, really. You got the core range, like your tees and things like that, and then you got your mid-range, and then you got this double, triple, probably the price, way smaller MOQs. They have to sell out. So only get a minimum amount that will sell out, you know?
Exactly.
A good way to like that little 10% squad or whatever, they should be 2% of your customer base. Say you got 10,000 customers that ordered in the last year, say only in the last year, then what's 2% of that?
200.
Okay, thank you.
I think.
Dumb at school. Come on, bro.
Well, that's later.
So is it 200? Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. And then I go into Shopify and you go sort by most spent ever. Most spent ever, and you take the top 200 and analyze those people and those orders, and that's kind of what you can use as data to muck around with that space. Like, what's the average order value? You go in, you'll see quite quickly, like, these guys always get 6 things. That bag is nothing.
Exactly.
And then you'll see some, you're like, they get the edgy, like the stuff I love that I didn't think anyone would like or whatever, you know? So there's a cool, I mean, that's just
I love that.
Napkin way of doing it. Like,
no, that makes total sense, bro.
Yeah.
It kind of, like that's my whole like customer acquisition theory as well. It's like, I want to find the coolest guy, I want to find the best dressed guy in every friend group and win him over. Because once you win over him, he'll show up to the pub and people will be like, oh, what are you wearing, bro? It's like, you think you're a fashion dude, but like, they'll give him shit for wearing loafers, or, maybe he's got these baggy jeans on and he's wearing like a knitted like singlet with his arms out, But like you win him over, and then like 6 months later, like, hey bro, I've got a wedding coming up. Do you know where I can get something? Like.
Oh, I get asked all the time. I'm always flicking to you and Tom Morrison.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you two have great brands. Yeah,
we're doing a lot more in that space too. We're like entering like a lot of soft tailoring this year. So, like 2-piece like sets that you could wear like a lot to weddings or dinner parties or something like that. And if you really want to elevate your look, so
I'm so stoked that we're going into the suit era, baggy suit era. Do you not know a funny one on that? You might know this, but after any sort of recession or depression or economic time period, suits always go up in sales afterwards.
Interesting.
Guys at Barker's were telling me, they were saying it's something around presenting professionally, and if I wear a suit, I'm going to make more money. It's like if I drink trim, I'm going to lose weight. It's sort of like that sort of mentality.
Yeah, I like that.
So that's why we're seeing it, bro. Like Tuesday.
Yeah, I also think it's a retaliation to, like we just came from this like post Yeezy like off-white Virgil hype era. That sneaker resales, lining up for sneakers around the corner. That dominated so hard that naturally once something goes so far one way, the world balances it back out.
You get a course correction.
And I think we're going through that, and so you would have heard the phrase like quiet luxury before, and it's just less logos, more about like just refined silhouettes and fabrics, and I'd like to think I've kind of always wanted to design that way, and I think that's part of our success, as I said before, at the moment, because I think people are naturally just more into that than they once were. So I feel like the market's like accidentally come to us a little bit, like.
Well, like you were saying, it's your intuition from being in this space and observing, bang, 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 so many touch points all the time. When you're walking down the street, you're taking in data for your own brand.
All the time.
You go to a cafe, you're watching what guys are wearing, you're taking it. It's like, it came to you, but I think you actually came to it. You just, it's so much intuition.
That's right. Yeah, so right, you're just like always taking in data. Like I remember, like my partner's from the Hokianga, and we go up there and I'm sitting at a cafe in Omapiti, and like there's some dude wearing some like old as like military knit, and I'm like, and there's like nylon patches on the thing and the sleeves. I'm like, Bro, I'm like taking design notes and like copying it.
Bro's got no idea.
Yeah. And that's like gonna inspire like August knitwear drop, you know what I mean? Like,
bro,
it's just everywhere.
Bro, grandpas, they don't know what they're doing with us right now. I saw this guy the other day and I was like, can't tell if he's super steezy or just a grandpa, right?
Like, or was that, there used to be a page like hipster or homeless?
yeah, absolutely, bro. Like,
But, yeah.
So talk to me about like marketing effectiveness. Like, what do you reckon is the formula for you, for your brand?
Like, there's no two ways about it. Like, we live and die by Facebook and Instagram ads.
Yeah.
Like, as a D2C brand, like, good luck doing it any other way. You can do drop models, whatever, if you have like one of those hype ones, but like then you'll just make money once a month on drops rather than making money every day. But so that's important. We kind of aim for like a site-wide ROAS of like probably 6 or 7, so a pretty strong brand.
Jesus.
Which also is a nice healthy marker of there's room to scale. But the thing that also really helps this whole thing is, and we've spoken about this before, probably over a few beers, but speeding up the drop cadence. So people just want kind of new shit. So how do you go from dropping 4 times a year to dropping every week or once a fortnight, or once a month maybe if it's a bit more considered. But then also, you know, the whole selling out of best product and then restocking it a month later or something. So you kind of have these cadences of just regular products, kind of micromanaging supply and demand. You have that, you kind of shoot it. We really overinvest in content. Like, I think we have some of the most, and
you got a pretty good photographer.
Holly's amazing. That's my partner. I think she's
one of my favorites.
She's amazing. Yeah, and she's helped me. I think Porter James represents a softer side of masculinity, and I think it's softer. I think it's romantic. It's beautiful, and I don't think you typically use these words with menswear. And I think she's helped me really champion that side of things. And together, obviously, we live together, and we probably talk about work way too much, but we've been able to build such, like, our brief evolves every day, and we've been able to create such beautiful content that I think we're doing some of the, you know, best still photography in the world. Like, not, you know, I'll blow or you know, toot our own horn. Yeah, but like, I'm really proud of what we've created. I think it's amazing, and I think that's also a big driver. So it's like, there's no silver bullet, like you said before, but like, we go hard on ads, you know, we go hard on product cadence and our planning, and then we've got this beautiful content, and it's just like this flywheel that just hums. Yeah. I mean, I think though, everything does come down to having good product at the end of the day. Like, if your product's shit, nothing's going to happen, right? Yeah. So like, emphasis on that, and we've gotten way better at that, and I think it's good. But then that kind of probably is the start of the flywheel, but all these kind of just hum as a result.
Bro, I'll be honest. Like, when your first few products came out, I'm always a little bit like, I have a lot of, I give new brands like a lot of leniency on the product quality side, because they're always shit. But you can't, it's like their first 2 years or whatever. But yours have always been really high quality. No stitches coming out, no like, what's it called, pilling or anything like that. Like,
thank you.
And because you grew slowly. Totally. Like, you weren't going mad at the start, and now you're like, but I just have to say, it wasn't shit. I was like, wow, this stuff's actually fucking good from the start.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I guess that's, one, say like I hired Sam before I paid myself, because she was amazing at that. But also two, and I guess most founders would tell you this as well, but like, you have to back your taste. Like, this is what I expect from other brands. This is what I've become accustomed to as a consumer, and I don't want to put something out if it's not that standard. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I guess that's maybe a luxurious place to speak from. Like, I understand, you know, where do you sit on the price point matrix, and you know, you've got brands who are consciously lower priced and therefore can't make things from, say, 100% cotton. They might have to involve polyesters or whatnot. Right. And that's a business decision. But that's why I'll be the first to say our product's not the cheapest, but I think it's really fair value for money. And as I said, good things aren't cheap, and cheap things aren't good.
Bro, I wear the tracksuit pant
You're the green ones, eh?
Yeah, the OG.
Oh, bro, we got some new ones coming. You're gonna love them.
Oh, I want the black ones too. I've just been on a spending freeze.
Yeah.
But
Good on you.
I wear them. I get home and I just put them on straight away.
Oh, nice.
And then I wear them. And then I wear them to work. I haven't even taken. I've been wearing them for like 24 hours.
Oh, you dirty bugger.
Low-key PJs, bro. But they look sick with a vest, like a tank underneath.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, no, they're awesome.
Thank you, man.
You were saying, you know, it's a bit more a feminine take on menswear and softer side, which I love as well.
Yeah.
Very comfortable with my sexuality. Like, if it ain't a bit gay, it ain't good enough. You know what I mean? Like for me, not that yours is really pushing the boat out like that, but that's kind of what I run.
Yeah.
And but I do have to say, like, you know what's allowed that to happen a little bit in New Zealand is All Blacks and rugby players, like Rico Ioane and like those Blues or heaps of rugby players that are now wearing way more steezy stuff that would have previously been a little bit femme.
Yeah.
But if the open side flank is wearing it, it's good enough for me, bro.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's, you know, talking about those thousands of things that you data and things like that, I think that's helped the movement of what your brand is within.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's become very normal for I guess men to express themselves through clothing, where once upon a time, as you said, that might have been scoffed at, or maybe you're made to feel emasculated if you, I guess, carried yourself that way. But like, I think if I'm honest, I've always been like that. Even back to when I was playing golf, like at 13 years old, like I'd ask my parents for a pink Ralph Lauren polo, you know.
Like, well, the Kanye era.
Yeah, well, that was the Kanye era. But like, I thought it was cool. So
I definitely have one of those.
Yeah, so I think again, I'm not sure if it was a conscious move, but it's just more or less just something I've never really thought of. It just is. It's just the way I am. You know, I'm raised. I mean, I've obviously got a father, but our family of 6 was 4 females. I've got a mum and three younger sisters.
Oh, do you?
So,
True.
I was kind of always raised in a house of women. You know, so I think that's maybe something to do with my...
3 sisters?
3 sisters.
Oh, yeah, my friend's got 4 older sisters.
Oh, yeah. Mine are all younger.
Poor Dion.
But yeah, I guess I think there are definitely some tastemakers in the rugby scene. We have a lot of them wear Porter, and it's always nice to see.
Right, so cool.
Yeah.